Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Politics on Naija Anchor News, your go-to channel for all-round political insight and analysis. Today, we are diving into one of the hottest topics in Nigeria right now, fuel scarcity. Since President Tinubu's inauguration in May 2023, life has increasingly become tough for Nigerians.
But now, what we are buying now is too far from what we were getting before. We bought a fuel of 10,000. You cannot be able to provide like 15,000.
We started from 50 naira, 80 naira, 100 naira, 150, 200. Now, from my house to this place, how many kilometers? I dey pay 600 naira. Like play. Oh. How much you go use eat? How much you go use? I beg.
You can't make a profit under the current circumstances. You can't even feed your family at the rate we're going.
The first major move of this administration, the removal of fuel subsidy, a decision that has set the country on path of economic hardship, leading many to ask where did things go wrong and, most importantly, what is the way forward.
Now, my brother, I don't know the problem or what will be the issue. I don't know, but my own, I want the president to normalize things for us. I beg.
So let's start by looking at the numbers. When Tinubu assumed office, a litre of fuel cost 254 naira. But on the day he removed subsidy, price skyrocketed to over 210%, leaping from 254 to 545 naira per litre, a move that caught many off guard.
When he stated clear that subsidy had been gone, immediately that statement was out, most of the major and private marketers, they increased their fuel price, including the NNPC. Since
then, fuel prices have continued to climb, the current price soaring above 1,000 naira per litre. So, how did we get here?
The last time I bought with NNPC at the price of 617 naira with NNPC. Last 1 week.
We bought at the rate of 750 each 2 months ago.
When you pay 55 cents a litre at a government-owned petrol station, what do you expect of other independent marketers?
The increment is very, very poor. Unlike before, we used to buy we used to full keke tank like 1,700 or 2,000 thereabout. And we can be able to make like 5,000-6,000. But now, what we are buying now is too far from what we were getting before.
We are buying it 1,200.
We are buying currently, like the one I'm using inside my bike now, I bought it with NNPC on Saturday last week. 897 naira. That is the difference is 280 naira compared to what we bought before.
The removal of the fuel subsidy has sparked endless debate. Some say it was the right move, but poorly executed. Others believe it's the main reason for the current economic turmoil.
It just came, boom, fuel, remove fuel subsidy, remove this, remove that. You understand? You just remove the one where you get direct impact on the people.
For my own understanding, I think it is because of the subsidy removal.
There's a misconception of ideas concerning this subsidy removal in this country. You know, fuel subsidy removal is not a bad thing, despite the fact that we are the victims of this circumstance. I can see hope in the future.
But here's the question that has been bothering many. How can a country that produces crude oil in large quantities pay so much for fuel? Even more troubling is not just the high prices, it's the scarcity of the product.
It is very difficult to buy fuel these days because most of the filling stations, they are not opening. Some of them, they will open, like they will sell for like 1 or 2 hours, then they will close. We have been buying black market, and black market now is 1,500, 1,400, depends on the area.
Fuel is not easy to get now. These days, you even prefer black market because even at the pump, the filling station, there's cheating.
Nigerians are queuing for hours, sometimes days, just to get fuel. So who is to blame? Is it the removal of subsidies or is there something deeper at play?
Now, the issue of fuel is this, right? This fuel price thing is not going to come down. Instead, it's going to go up. Now, when the fuel price went up, there's a very dark man no talk. In all honesty, I didn't say anything because I am now privileged to some information that if I talk am for public, they go ask me, they'll come for me.
For several years, I have consistently maintained the position that the fuel subsidy had to go. This once beneficial measure had outlived its usefulness. The subsidy cost us trillions of naira yearly, such as a vast sum of money would have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
According to President Tinubu, he removed the subsidy to free up funds for developing other sectors: security, education, healthcare, infrastructure, you name it. But take a closer look at the state of things. It's hard to see any real progress. Insecurity is rising with more frequent cases of kidnapping, banditry, armed robbery, terrorism, etc. The education sector is no better. University goes on strike every now and then. So the big question is, has the removal of the subsidy benefited Nigerians in any way? The answer, sadly, seems to be no.
We are not benefiting it at all.
What about inflation? Before the subsidy removal, inflation was a concern, but it's now exploded to unbearable levels. Inflation has reportedly surged by nearly 300%, and yet every time government officials address the nation, they insist that things are getting better or will improve soon. Remember Ajuri Ngelale, the former presidential spokesperson? He assured us that fuel prices wouldn't increase just a few months ago.
Mr. President wishes to assure Nigerians, following the announcement by the NNPC Limited just yesterday, that there will be no increase in the pump price of petroleum motor spirit anywhere in the country.
But fast forward to today, the prices have tripled.
We are buying currently, like the one I'm using inside my bike now, I bought it with NNPC on Saturday last week, 897 naira. That is the difference, is 280 naira.
It shows that we are in a state, or we are in a situation where even the people at the helm of affairs, they do not have an idea of what is going to happen next. If the presidential spokesperson could assure us that fuel prices will not increase, that we are going to stop at this level and the next thing, boom, then is there hope for us? Nigerians once pinned their hopes on Dangote's refinery. Many believe that once it started operation, the price of fuel will finally drop. But on the day the refinery officially announced it was selling fuel, the price shot up to 1,000 naira per litre or over in some filling stations. To make matters worse, the NNPC announced it will be the only buyer from Dangote, leaving little room for competitive pricing. The same NNPC that accused Dangote of trying to be a monopolist have insisted that they will only give Dangote crude oil if they are the only people buying from him. So that means they want to monopolize the whole pricing stuff. So what does this mean for the average Nigerian? It feels like the promise of a relief is fading away. And for many, the reality is that things might never get better. Now, the big question is, what's the way forward? How can the government ease the burden on its citizens? First, we think immediate subsidies on essential goods. While fuel subsidy may be gone, the government can introduce temporary subsidies on essential goods and services like food, transportation, and healthcare until the economy stabilizes. Instead of giving out food palliatives, the government should subsidize prices of food and other commodities in the market so that the little money people have can have serious purchasing power. Because even the palliatives they have been given, how many people have been benefiting from it? How many households can say, okay, we've benefited this? Can the palliative feed the whole nation? People are hungry. If you give out a bag of rice, how far are you going to transport us? So there should be subsidies on other things. Don't give people palliative, so that the little money they have, they can at least use it to purchase one or two. Second, revamp local refineries. Nigeria must stop relying on imported refined crude oil. Like we said before, how can a country that produce such amount of crude oil be importing refined oil? The government needs to revive its local refineries to ensure that crude oil is refined locally at a lower cost. This, we believe, when coupled with Dangote's refinery, fuel prices will get lower in this country. 3, diversify the power sources. Dependency on fuel as a major source of power for cars, generators, and the industries must be reduced.
Now, there's only one solution to all this problem. Is to reduce the demand in fuel. How do you reduce the demand in fuel? First of all, create 24 hours power in Nigeria. Only that alone will reduce the demand in fuel, because the rural areas, they usually have no lights. They are the people that buy more fuel. You understand? They are the people that buy more fuel. If you just create 24 hours and they start getting lights in all those areas, they don't need lights in their generator to power their fan. They don't need light in their generator to sell their beer parlor for money tonight, to cool their fridge. They don't need lights. They don't need fuel to do a lot of things that they use fuel for, especially in the rural areas, therefore defeating the demand in fuel. So if we can get 24 hours power in Nigeria, the fuel price, the demand for it will reduce. That's when you go to filling station and you see like 2-3 people.
Guys, what do you think? Is there hope for things to get better, or is this just the beginning of a prolonged hardship? Drop your opinions in the comment section below. Let's keep the conversation going on Let's Talk Politics on Naija Anchor News. See you in the next episode.